Hey friends, welcome back to OG Universe. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with me today as we take a look at the latest offering from McFarlane Toys in the DC Multiverse lineup. We're taking a look at Batman and Ace the Bathound. This has been out for quite a while, but I finally got around to spending some time with it, taking out the package, and just seeing what this Batman is all about. Is it another just variant in the multiple waves of variants of Batmans that we've had in the past, or is there something distinct and unique about this Batman that makes it a real worthwhile purchase? So we'll discuss that. But as always, I'm very happy to have a new version of Batman that we haven't gotten before. This is the Silver Age Batman, which I think is just phenomenal. I'm really enjoying some of these classic interpretations of Batman. We've had that Bullseye Batman that came out a little while ago. I think I'm just gonna leave that one in the package because it's just such a stark white figure, and it's just I prefer it in the package. I know what it's gonna be like. We've seen this body buck used multiple times, and this cape as well. But I just like the presence it has on my shelf, and it's gonna stay that way. But this one, I definitely want to open it up, and I am gonna share some feelings about it, some things that maybe they misstepped, some things that they could have improved on. We'll talk about that in further review of the figure, but I'm really excited to have this figure in package. As you can see, the artwork on the back is really nice. Classic Silver Age Batman, Robin, Ace the Bathound, saving Batman from getting harpooned. Well, that happens. 1 ounce of doom. What a title. Very interesting. And here you got the Silver Age, Batman and Ace the Bathound. We got the figure. God, see, this is the thing we'll talk about once we open it up. But without any further ado, let's crack this guy open and check him out of the package. All right, so we got Batman and Ace the Bat-Hound out of its plastic prison, and I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with this figure. Now, we've seen this body buck used multiple times to great degrees of effectiveness. I think it's a supremely good body buck for certain types of Batman. For a more modern interpretation, I don't think it hits the notes quite right on the physique. It's got to be a bit more imposing, a bit more bulked up for what Batman represents in the comics right now. But for that Silver Age or that Dick Grayson or even that Earth 2 Robin, I think it's a super successful body buck. So let's take a closer look at what we got in the package. Of course, we got our Batman with our beautiful cloth wired cape looking fantastic. Ace the Bat Hound, we'll take a closer look at him. But you do get your standard display stand, trading card artwork from the represented artwork on the back. So that's great. Now you do get quite a bit of accessory besides Ace. You do get some hands. You get some sprawled out gesturing hands. You got some grasping hands and a blue batarang. So that's greatly appreciated. But one of the things that kind of makes me think about the logic of some of the McFarlane releases. So this figure here, in all-encompassing purposes, this is really a collector's edition, right? Because you haven't one other instance where we had Animal Man that came with that creature of his, a little badger, Wolverine, whatever it is. Crypto and Superman, that was a collector's edition. That had the higher price point. This has Ace the Bat Hound, not a collector's edition, but it just doesn't make sense. What's the correlation between adding a Beast Pal accessory and not making a collector's edition or making a collector's edition? It's very weird. So let's get back on the topic here. Ace the Bat Hound, sculpted extremely well. He's got a very kind of different kind of pose than you would expect. He's kind of sitting, about to jump up. I really do like the sculpting of the head. The mask looks great. I think it's just a classic throwback to that Silver Age. The only thing I think would be greatly appreciated by a lot of collectors and fans of Ace the Bat Hound, Crypto, some articulation, some sort of ball joint in the neck just to give some different kind of range of motion, maybe even some articulation in the body. Some of his legs would be great. His tail. That's the only kind of thing that I could point out that says, would have been nice if we got a little bit extra. But look at the little attention to detail. It's got a little bat on his collar. I think that's fantastic. The fur has some real like texture to it. It looks great. I'm very happy with this representation of Ace the Bat Hound. Just hopefully Well, we don't know how many more of these kind of beast creatures, sidekicks we're gonna get with the McFarlane line before it transitions over to Mattel, but I would really like to have some articulation in these creatures. You know, it would have been so much greatly appreciated. Would have been greatly appreciated. But you never know. Mattel could really kick up the notch, and maybe they'll add extra articulation into Ace or Crypto or any other speedy little kitten that comes with that Supergirl. That's gonna have no articulation, but it's gonna look great. That Supergirl is gonna be so incredibly anticipated. I can't wait to get that figure, and we'll hopefully have that soon. Probably like near midway through April, maybe the end of April. Things keep getting pushed back further and further. A lot of the new McFarlane releases were supposed to come out in kind of mid-March, but it's been pushed back to halfway through April and later April. So who knows what's going on? But yeah, this is Ace. Great addition to the back collection for sure. Put him off to the side, and then we got our Batman. And I really do think this body buck works so well for this Batman. He's not super buff and, just super over muscular. He's just looking really fine. One thing I really appreciate is his little shading here. It's the black trunks. He's got a little bit of blue going on. The utility belt is unique and distinct. I really appreciate that. The bat emblem, it's a little bit smaller. That's how it's represented in the comics. It's not sculpted, it's just stamped on. And the blue. I absolutely love the blue and gray combination here. It looks just stellar. Definitely a throwback to those Silver Age comic books. And he just looks so good. The face sculpt as well. It just captures that stern, square jaw Batman. Man, this is when McFarlane really hits it out of the park on some of these head sculpts. Sometimes they're just not good. Unfortunately, I'm going to say that some of the head sculpts, like Earth 2 Robin's head sculpts, were not the best in my opinion. But something like this Batman, my goodness, it looks very impressive. Plus all the wrinkles and the fabric on the costume as well. I just love the way that looks. The boots looking fantastic. Sculpted ball joints, appreciated. And of course, this cloth wired cape. Really liking this cape. Now, it does have that starchy nylon material. You can hear that. Ugh, it just makes my fingers itchy. It just has that weird texture to it. But a very strong wire running throughout the cape. So you can get all sorts of crazy cape motion going on. And I think that is fantastic. And that's one thing, like I know we're kind of talking about Mattel, but Mattel wants to continue the tradition or the legacy of quality that McFarlane has produced. They are really going to need to step up and make some good cloth wired capes. I don't think going back to plastic rigid capes is going to do them any benefit. I think they need to keep going and evolve this cloth wired cape to something even greater if it's possible. And hopefully these cloth wired capes continue on with McFarlane toys, with some Spawn figures, maybe with the Turtles and some cloaks, or Foot Shoulders, or Shredder. Oh, I'm kind of anticipating that new Turtle line from McFarlane Toys and see what they can do. I really want to see an epic Shredder to go against Batman in my DC Multiverse, but who knows what the scale will be like with those. But yeah, this is a phenomenal looking Batman. Extremely well done. Really harkens back and captures that Silver Age look to a T. So let's take a look at some of the articulation this guy has. So his head can look up, not too bad. Down, unfortunately, not much going on. A little bit of side attitude, not too much. He does have the spacer joint going on there for the butterfly hinge, so a little bit extra motion. Ball joint, bicep cut, double jointed elbows. He does have articulation at the wrist. His abdominal articulation will vary. Not too bad going back, not too much, unfortunately, going up. We've seen it on some other figures using this body buck. The one in particular is the Batman vs. Bane 2-pack. Now, that 2-pack did have one of the best abdominal crunches for a Batman figure to represent that scene where Bane is breaking Batman's back. He had that extra bit of articulation. I believe the ball peg that connects the torso to the lower abdomen, it can be kind of stretched out a little bit. It doesn't have to be pushed in all the way into the socket that's up here. In doing so, does give you more range of motion. So if that's something you want to do, I did some toy surgery. It's in my videos, in my playlist that we did that toy surgery. I think I'll improve those playlists a little bit more and do toy surgery playlists, so you can just go right into checking out some of the toy surgeries we've done. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, he does have a ball joint at the waist for a bit more articulation as well. It's very stiff on this guy. Does have ball joints at the hips, double jointed knees, toe articulation. I love that toe articulation. Anchor, rocker, pivot, sculpted ball joints, greatly appreciated. So this is a definite, awesome looking Batman. They did everything right with this figure, in my opinion. Sculpted details, the articulation, the accessories are quite good. We'll do some swapping out of some hands and some batarangs, and we'll see how that looks right now. All right, so we popped on some different hands. Now, I gotta say, this hand, it looks weird. It doesn't seem like the normal Batman grasping hand. Some weird, that thumb looks like it's broken and just pushed back. It just looks very odd. Didn't go on very well either. I had to use some real He-Man strength to try and get this fist, or excuse me, this hand onto the peg, so just be careful. This one looks great. Of course, that batarang is ultra tiny. We've seen that used lots of times, so just kind of a heads up. But yeah, that thumb just looks out of proportion and just broken up. Not very good, so I probably won't be displaying him with that hand. He'll probably have a fisted hand going on there, but I just wanted to show you guys what's going on with that hand. So let's get him back onto his display stand, and he does look good. Get him in a little bit of a bat pose going on with that cape. There's a lot of real estate with that cape. It looks just fantastic. So let's see how he looks with some other comparable figures to go along with this Batman. Definitely want to bring in one of my absolute favorites so far of 2025, and that is our Captain Marvel, the Captain, Shazam, whatever you want to call him. I really like the way this figure looks, and seeing these two guys together, you know, the classic kind of look for this figure. Shazam looks absolutely awesome. These two guys look great. I love the height difference between these two as well. I would always expect Shazam to be a bigger, beefier character and definitely have a height advantage over even Batman. Kind of close to Superman, maybe even a little bit taller to my likings. But these two guys look awesome together. Classic superhero, Shazam. And then I also want to bring in a figure that I thought, you know what? Maybe these two guys would look good together. And it's not too bad. This figure does have some limitations. The really weak ball joints and the ankles, but that's easy to fix. But yeah, this is our kind of custom Toy Surgery Robin. We put a Tim Drake Robin head on this figure. This is the Carrie Kelly Dark Knight Returns body buck. Closest thing I have to any kind of classic Robin. But I like the way these two guys look. It fits in scale in the sense of, you know, the Silver Age Batman. I really hope we get a Silver Age Robin before this line is extinguished and the torch is passed onto Mattel. But I really do like the way these guys look. Definitely a fun little display on your shelf. And then I also want to bring one of my other favorites using this body buck. Yes, this is the exact same body buck, and it's such a different feel to it. This one here is our manga Batman. Excuse me. Our manga Batman, and I love this figure. I love the sculpted details on the logo, the belt, the white trim, the color palette. It's just desaturated. It's just such a great looking representation of those old manga comic books. Have that one kind of the history of Batman in Japan. It was fantastic, and it has a full representation of that entire comic book series. I love it. Really, really wish they would include some sort of Robin, a Joker, that the Death Mask character. I really wish they would do a little bit more with this manga Batman before the line is passed on. Really wish that would happen, but we'll see. But man, what a stark difference between these two guys. Really, really impressive. Bringing in another character that might fit in well, and that's kind of like our Silver Age Flash, Jay Garrick. One of my favorite figures. I think this is such an underappreciated Flash. You don't see much love for it, but it's definitely, I think it's going to be one of the more pricier figures. He's a cornerstone of the Justice Society of America, and we're kind of building up that society in this final year of McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse. We're getting a lot of releases. we're really building up that team. So I think he is definitely going to be one of the most sought after figures to build up your JSA team, and definite must have. Just taking a little bit of a closer look, he is sculpted beautifully, has one of the most genuine feels. He feels so high quality. The plastic is just such a great high quality plastic. It's hard to kind of describe, but get this figure in your hands, you'll notice it compared to some other figures. He really has a great substantial weight to it, really premium feel to this Jay Garrick Flash. Absolutely fantastic figure. Now, let's bring in one of probably the best figures in my entire lineup, one of my absolute favorites. And of course, this is the Jim Lee Hush Batman. You know, you see the stark difference between the two. The physique on the more modern appearance of Batman is just bulky, powerful, where he's got a really slender build on this figure, but it suits him well. It suits him well, and the color palette couldn't be any more different than these very bright comic book colors to the saturated, dark, and gritty feel to this Jim Lee Hush Batman. Beautiful contrast. Just Batman is such a versatile character, and he can be used in any kind of form, media, shape, color palette. It works so well with this guy, and I absolutely love the longevity of Batman. Now, one more figure I want to bring in. That's just really want to see how these two guys look, and yeah, these two guys look pretty cool together. Same figure, body buck. It's the Nightfall body buck on this Earth 2 Robin. He does have a customized head. He's donated by the Jason Todd Red Hood from the Amazon 5-pack. These two guys look great together. And again, just to show a little bit of paint, a little bit of resculpted work here and there, just makes such a huge difference between these two figures. And it's the same body buck. And I think these two guys look really cool together. And then finally, I want to bring in, of course, some Jokers. Some Jokers that I think would be fun to see how they look. We don't really have a Silver Age Joker, and I really hope we do get one, because that would be great to see the Silver Age. Really, he's kind of grotesque. He's kind of ugly. If you see some pictures of the Silver Age Joker, you know, that fits in with his Batman. He really looks exaggerated proportions. Very Batman Brave and the Bold. That animated series, if you've never seen it, do yourself a favor. Watch it. It is one of the funnest, pretty, it's like basically a team up. Every episode, Batman's usually teaming up with some hero or villain, even sometimes. It's just fun animated series. Great animation, voice work. It just harkens back to that Silver Age quite a bit. But these two guys look really cool together. I really do like this Joker. I know he did get a lot of hate for the face paint. The sculpt is awesome, but the paint, yeah, could be maybe a little bit to some other people's likings. I don't mind it at all. He looks cool. Definitely a unique looking Joker to have on the shelf. And then the other figure I wanted to bring in that is probably the most that fits in basically with this Batman, and that is, yes, let's get his cape out of the way, so to speak, is this version, the Red Hood version. Now, I never reviewed this figure because there's a couple things with it that just, well, I'm not a big fan of. And we'll do a little bit of review here. We'll talk about it. But I like the way these two guys look. It's just very cool to see this, you know, this different version of Joker than when he's first starting out against this Batman. I think that'll look cool. Some epic battles are going to be happening. Stay tuned for some shorts. But let's talk about this figure. Now, I think there's a lot of great aspects about it. I really do appreciate this crossbow, painted in a nice metallic silver. This has been donated to our Huntress figure because that came with a piece of garbage crossbow. Just painted and casted it in black plastic. I had to repaint it, put some silver on it, make it worthwhile. But I just wanted to bring out the original weapon this figure came with. And then the other thing I'm not a big fan of course, is the articulation that's so lacking in the torso. That's a shame. There's nothing going on there. This head is just barely any articulation in it, and it should have been bigger. It should have been larger. And of course, the biggest miss on this figure is not having this maybe included additional head sculpt where we could put maybe, you know, this Joker head on there and then have him taken off the cylinder and you got the exposure of Joker for the first time. That was a huge miss in my opinion. I really would have loved to have a second head sculpt or have this come off and he's got a Joker head underneath it, but alas, they didn't do it. And so it's up to you, customizers, to swap out the head and have something else going on. If and especially being a collector's edition, you came to really bare bones, unfortunately. He should have had even a partial, half the mask lifted up, and you see a Joker face underneath a big smile with the white face paint or face dyed in that chemical bath. That would have been incredible. Incredible. They missed the boat on it. Plus, this cape is just really thin, thin wire, so it doesn't hold its shape and it just droops down. So that's just a little bit of a disappointment. I wish it had a stronger cape wire just to hold the poses. The head was a missed opportunity, extra accessories that is so needed for this guy. But this is probably the one and only time we're going to get this figure, so man, I just wish they would have done a better job on it. So there you go, that's my 2 cents about this figure. It is pretty striking on the shelf, I will give it that, and I think I will probably pop the head off and have him holding the cylinder or something. But man, it's just missed opportunity. And that's a pretty big disappointment for me because I was really anticipating this figure to have a lot of things, but sometimes my mind's eye just doesn't correlate to what we get from McFarlane Toys on slight occasions. But still, it's an interesting figure, and I'm glad he's part of my collection. So there you go, guys. We did our full extensive review on this character, Silver Age Batman with Ace the Bathound. I really think this is a very worthy addition to your collection. There is a Platinum Chase variant of this with a Zurin R color scheme, and if you don't know what that is, he's basically well, there's been lots of representations. I think a Google search will probably give you the best because he's been an alien superhero. He's been a kind of like an alter persona of Batman that's just lost it and been pushed over to the edge. So there's been different variations and interpretations of the Zuridar Batman, but he is the Platinum Chase for this. So you get some very garish yellow, purple, and reds. You still get Ace the Bat Hound. Couldn't find that one anywhere, and I have not seen this guy on the shelves anywhere since its release, and that's pretty unfortunate. And yeah, if you're not pre-ordering, I think it's really hit and miss in Canada, especially where I live. We got multiple GameStops, Walmarts, Toys R Us's, and man, it's hit and miss. You don't pre-order this figure, you're probably not going to see him on a GameStop shelf. I've not seen this at a Walmart or a Toys R Us. A Toys R Us has been very disappointing lately. They haven't got really any new product in for quite a while, so that's a little disheartening. And GameStop, man, it's April, and I don't think, oh my goodness, I don't think I've picked up a single new release. Yeah, for figures. Oh, I have. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Pardon me. Excuse me. I've picked up a couple, not many, compared to last year. Just a couple Batman figures and something else, I believe. But it's been very slim picking so far from McFarlane Toys. Hopefully, they're going to crank it up for the rest of the year. We've had a lot of pre-orders that have been delayed and postponed for close to a month and a half. Hopefully, that'll get straightened out for April. But we'll see. Stay tuned to the channel, guys. I will bring you as much McFarlane figures and reviews, shorts, epic battles, versus toy surgery that I can. And I'll continue to support this line with my hard-earned money because I absolutely love this lineup. It has been the best DC representation action figure form in my opinion so far. I'm highly anticipating what Mattel can do. I can't wait to see hopefully some product at San Diego Comic-Con or the New York Comic-Con, and for sure at Toy Fair. We're going to see these guys. But yeah, just to see what is going on. I'm being optimistic. I think it's going to take a lot to replace the quality of McFarlane Toys, but we'll see what Mattel can do. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video and staying through the entire thing. It's been a long one, 25 minutes almost, but I appreciate that. I thank you all for just hanging out with me and spending some time with me and letting me kind of get some stuff off my mind and off my chest. I appreciate all the feedback and commentary that you've been providing for me. Hopefully the mic quality is better. I got a brand new mic that I'm very excited for, and it's been, I think, working pretty good. I can hear my voice project a little more, and the volume has been good. So definitely let me know in the feedback in the comments what's going on with the mic, if you're finding the audio quality better. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. Stay tuned for the next video, and we'll talk to you soon.